don't know why Evie suddenly went,
No, not do I. I didn't do any movement.
I told you not to be vaping, just as we started, see? That's why. Welcome back to another episode of Bonnet Babble. And I think this is going to be episode 22. Maybe.
I think 21.
No. Because episode 20 was the nasty one, and I published that.
Oh,
and then I've got one more.
You're right, it's 22.
Yeah, messing about with stickers and subtitles and shenanigans. And then... Yeah. So we're back today with part 2 of the ADHD Chronicles, which, I think that the first one was hilarious.
I agree.
Yeah. So this is how to be unprofessional. So this goes into some of my more ridiculous stories from when I was working in quite a professional setting, mainly travelling abroad.
I think that's very professional setting.
Yes. And I was their only project manager.
Oh, really?
Project manager of many hats. Yeah. And for some reason, whenever I travel, or whenever I leave the house, there's always some form of drama or shenanigans that happens.
Oh, I know.
And it's
I
usually
leave the
my
house
fault.
with you all the time.
No, it's
and
terrible.
Something.
I know. I don't. But you're fine when you're on your own. It's just when you're with me.
Yeah, reasonably fine on my own.
It's more likely when you're with me. Let's be honest. Yeah. So this is designed to give you a giggle, and hopefully us as well. So this was when I was a project manager working in ethics and compliance.
Ugh. That sounds really dull.
Yeah, the job was good, but the subject matter was a bit like, yeah. And I was supposed to be like the epitome of professionalism when I was in the office. And, when I was in the office, most of the time, apart from,
walking in with odd shoes.
And sometimes I'd have my top inside out and that sort of stuff, as you do.
You just can't get dressed.
No, I can't, no. Or undressed.
No.
I'm always getting trapped in items of clothing. It's just, it's a bad idea. But whenever I travelled, I would create a detailed itinerary, going into like the minutiae of detail. So some people with ADHD are chronically late, and get time blindness and that sort of stuff. But where I have an unhealthy dose of anxiety to go with my ADHD, mine goes the other way, where I'm always, an hour early for everything. And I'd rather sit there like a lemon for an hour before my meeting or appointment than be late. Hate being late.
It's really frustrating when you're trying to hold her off from leaving too early because
I wanna go.
it's too early.
Yeah.
And you got to pay for parking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really annoying. But I'd have these itineraries, like when I go to London, it was like you're catching this train and you need to leave at this time and this is how long the drive's going to take, but you should leave an extra, say, half an hour for traffic or any other shenanigans. And then you want to have this amount of time for a coffee break and what if I need a pee and, all that sort of stuff.
See, that's with a bunch of numbers. I go the opposite way because I think I've done all the math and think I've left myself a good half an hour.
Yeah.
Early, but actually it's half an hour late.
Well, yeah, but that's because you don't forget what time the appointment is in the first place.
Well, most of the time. But when I went on holiday last year, I had to get to the place where you park your cars and get a bus into the airport.
The car park.
The place where you park your car. Stay. That's what I'm looking for. The long stay car park.
Yeah, we didn't really need that starter bit. Could have just been car park, but yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, sorry, carry
But
on.
yeah, I arrived late. And my dad, who was he paid for the holiday, but yeah, he was really stressing out because I was not as early as he was.
No. Oh, I had a right palaver once when I was going to Portugal with my ex-husband. So I must have been just about 2, and he was barely 6 weeks old, and. First, we were flying from Gatwick. First, the M4 was shut, right? Then there was roadworks on the road it sent us for the diversion. And then the road leading right into Gatwick was shut. So I was anxiously early, but I hadn't planned for 3 separate kerfuffling issues. And then
You
we
didn't
arrived.
plan ahead for extra.
What? No, because I don't expect for them. I know. I should in the UK really with the amount of roadworks we have. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's you.
You might run into 1 or 2, but I didn't count on 3. I mean, that's really bad luck. So then, when we got to the airport, we had like less than 45 minutes till our flight, and I was like, oh my god! And the cat's vommed.
Oh, no. Why am I looking?
Yeah, you don't look. You can't deal
I
with
know.
that. No, I'll pause because I've now found the pause button, and I'll deal with that. I'll be right back. Remind me where I was mid-flow, flight to Portugal. Okay, back in a sec, and back in the room. Sorry. Bloody cat.
Seriously, what is that off?
What? Back in the room? I don't know.
Bugging me for days.
Is it something like Derren Brown?
I don't know.
One of them wizards.
What?
Oh, you're a wizard, Harry. No, like one of the magicians. Like a hypnotist. A hypnotist!
Is it?
I think so. And you're back in the room and then they click their fingers. I think. Something like that.
Sounds plausible.
It does. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah. So my daughter was about 6 weeks old. My son was barely 2. Had the 3 roads bloody shut on the way to Gatwick. Arrived with barely 45 minutes before the flight.
Yes.
And then because I was in such a flap, we had one of those meet and greet car park things. So you could literally just abandon your car and run, which was good. Apart from the fact that I left the passports in the car. So I then had to ring the guy in a panic, like, please tell me you've not left. And thankfully he was still funnying around with the car. So I was like, thank God. So I legged it back out to the car and grabbed all the passports from the glove box. And then there's a picture of me somewhere with my daughter sort of like kicking her feet on my lap because she was teeny tiny, holding a gin on the plane, looking like, quite frazzled.
I can imagine.
Oh, that was so stressful. Anyway, right. So the first... No, I need to read the rest of it. Yes. So me being anxiously early to everything. Oh my God, cat! It's now my ragdoll who is attacking a box on top of the TV unit and ripping all the cardboard apart.
He's also attacking the actual paper.
Is he? What is wrong with him this morning?
Well, I don't know, but
I mean, we know what's wrong with him. He's very special.
He's always dippy.
Yeah.
He's a ragdoll.
He's a
typical
lemon.
ragdoll.
Absolute lemon. I'm going to throw something at him in a minute. Dude!
What have you got to throw?
What are these? These camera cover thing. Hang on.
You're going to lose it. Ooh, what's that? Get it. No. It's not as good as a box.
He's just sat there like bloody King Tut on top of his box. Hey. Sorry if the character's going a bit mental because I'm turning around because he's behind me. Right.
He's funny.
Anyway, so I'm anxiously early for everything. I think to compensate for how... Oh, for God's sake.
This is not going well this morning.
All we wanted to do... I know. He's now looking at his own reflection in the telly like, who's that? He is special. Special kitty.
Oh, you look at him and you just... There's nothing.
I'll put a stupid picture of his gormless face up above my head where he's like, Dave. I think he does. He looks really... Look at that face.
It's just there's one or two brain cells bouncing back and
they're
forward.
just like colliding constantly and he's going, what? Anyway, shall I start that sentence for the 5th time now?
Yeah.
So I am anxiously early for everything. And I think it's to compensate for how chaotic I was and still am at home. I would often find myself walking around aimlessly searching for my glasses, for a good half an hour before realising they were on top of my head. And
you still do that now?
I know, still look for my sunglasses, like, where are they? And you're like, they're on your head. I'm like, oh. So despite...
I do that with my phone.
You
walk around in my hand.
Yeah.
Or I'm on the phone.
Yes. And you're like, where's my phone?
Yeah. I can't leave.
No. But despite my efforts to remain organised at work, every single time I was on a business trip, I would run into one ridiculous incident after another. So the first one is an argument with a door. Now, I think this is one of the most amusing incidents, okay? And this is from where I went to France with my boss to try and woo a new client. And it was a very big, very important client. I must have been about 15 weeks pregnant with my son at the time, and the baby brain was exacerbating my dippy tendencies. Or at least that's what I blame this tomfoolery on. Now, we managed to get to Paris with very limited issues, which was a rarity, because we went to Paris quite a lot. And if I had
How
to go...
the other half live.
Oh, no, seriously. Well, we never got to see anything.
Yeah, but...
And, you know, I was always getting, like, stuck on the RER, which is, like, their equivalent of the Underground. And because I couldn't speak very good French, they'd always sell me the wrong ticket. And then I'd get in trouble. And then I remember once having to climb over the barriers because we were adamant we bought the right ticket, but the stupid machine still wouldn't let us out, honestly.
You climbed over the barriers.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, like a ninja. Cat. I swear to God, I'm going to turn you into a rug. So yes, we got to Paris.
It's a very beautiful rug.
It is, yeah. I got searched as always. I must look dodgy when I travel or something. I don't know. It's always me that gets searched. And we met the lady who was in charge, who was very, very French and very, very senior within the business. I think she was ethics and compliance director or something of this global conglomerate company. There you go, not conglomerate. We'll just go with the easy word. Yeah. Is he now mooching around with his bit of cardboard?
No.
No.
We didn't actually get any cardboard.
I just threw it all in the corner?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And lost
Good.
it.
Good job the cleaner's in today, isn't
And it's downstairs.
I know.
Yay.
So yes, we went for a coffee before we met with everybody else. It was a big like board meeting where we had to present. And I found common ground with her discussing doggos. As it turns out, she had a love of Labradogs, and I had a Labradog at the time. Because my ex-husband was a dog person, and you know, even though I'm secretly a cat person, well, not so secretly
Not so
anymore.
secretly.
No, back then it was a mask that I had on. I love dogs too.
But you do like them.
I do, but not as much as cats. No, they are my spirit animal. Anyway, so I felt rather pleased with myself for striking, you know, a chord so quickly with this lady, and she led us to get our visitor passes. Once we had them, she tried to explain that the little waist-high sliding glass doors, like the security barriers, that they were a bit enthusiastic, okay? So when she scanned her card and went through,
Meh.
you'd need to go through it quickly, right? You know? Simple, you'd think.
Well.
Yeah. So what she meant was that once you scan your visitor pass, don't mooch about, go through it, because they slide closed quite quickly. Yeah?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That should be simple enough.
You'd think. Unfortunately, what my brain heard was that when she scanned her card, I should follow her through straight away without scanning my own. Yeah. Yeah. Which is what I did. Okay. She scanned her card and strolled through, and then, you know, full of confidence, I went to like shuffle through quickly behind her, and the security doors closed on my ass. Okay? And not able to fully close, they kept squishing my ass between them. Oh, the shame. Right? Now,
I'm very visual.
Yeah, but you literally, it was like, I mean, you can't see my hand.
It's like a
movements,
cartoon.
Yeah, it was like that. Yeah.
So just imagining a cartoon, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the client spun round, or the potential client, and, you know, as the error alarm on the door was shrieking, and exclaimed in a very French accent, "No!" like this. And my boss was behind me with a full view of these doors retracting slightly and then attempting to shut again on either side of my behind. And she was struggling to maintain her composure. Tears were kind of seeping out the corners of her eyes as she held in her mirthless laughter.
Well done to her to hold that in.
She was very professional.
I wouldn't have been able to.
No, I was sort of like yo-yoing between... I was obviously the colour of beetroot.
Oh, yeah.
But I was yo-yoing between giggling and wanting to die quietly in a corner.
Maybe a bit of both.
Yeah. So thankfully I was soon extracted by a burly security officer who couldn't see the funny side of it. Couldn't see the silly side of my foolishness. And, you know, I regained my composure. And somehow we won the business. Yeah, we got the email when we were on the Eurostar coming back. They were like, "You've been awarded the contract." I was like, "What?"
Showed them how
After
real
I made
you are.
such a mess of it. Yeah. It's impressive. You can't listen to a simple instruction, but trusted me to implement their new software. Like, yeah, okay.
When you put it like that.
I know. Now, the next one isn't about me, it's about my boss, but it was always us that travelled together.
And the same boss that maintained her
The same
composure?
boss. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, the same boss.
Okay.
And it was, I mean, you know, I'll tell you the full story at some point, but we got into an unregistered taxi once and all sorts. And I thought we were going to be murdered and end up in a...
How are you alive?
I don't know. Genuinely, not a clue. So on this trip, where my boss got trapped, okay, we'd been dispatched to Sweden.
Oh.
Which was a bit of a change of scene for me. I think at that point, if I'd been sent to Paris once more, I might have thrown a fit. As I've even said here, the Parisian underground, or the RER, is a creation of Satan.
Yeah.
And is frequently filled with very odd sorts of characters.
So's the tube.
Yeah.
In London.
I don't know what it is about... Sorry, I sound like a right snob. Just going to put my snobby hat on for a moment, okay? What is it about public transport and attracting nutcases? I mean, we should probably get the bus everywhere from some things, but...
We have our own bus.
We do, yeah.
It's my car.
Private bus.
Yeah. It adheres to our crazy,
yes.
but it also adheres to your snobbiness.
Yes, it does.
Pinch of mine.
Well, yeah. But it's also a lemon, like us.
It's really a lemon.
Yeah.
Oh, today, when I was reversing it into that stupid spot.
Stupid tiny... Because somebody has parked in one of my allocated parking spaces.
I know. And I love that spot.
I know.
Hate
I even went to the workmen across the road who were digging up some gas mains or something, and I went, "Whose car is that?" It's not one of ours. Right, I think you're lying. But
I think they were lying.
I think they were lying too.
But when I reversed, guess what was working finally?
Oh, your reversing sensors are working again.
Yeah.
Yay!
Don't know how long for, but...
No. Maybe don't start relying on them again.
No. I don't think I should have in the first place.
No, quite. Anyway, we arrived and checked into our swanky hotel. I think I'd managed to swindle a Hyatt or something like that, which was quite nice. And there hadn't been any hitches so far.
Did you jinx it?
I think I did. And for once, this particular issue wasn't caused by my dippiness, but my boss's. Okay? So we stopped. I wasn't pregnant this time. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. We stopped at the bar for a cheeky...
Was this after or before?
Might have been in the middle of the two.
So
Maybe.
After one pregnancy, so you still got a dippy brain? Because,
yes. More dippy than before.
Well,
I think it ruins you. It never goes back to the way it was before.
No, children sap all the intelligence out of you.
Yes, they do. And you're just left with this mush. And like,
Yeah.
Can't function.
And we've got to,
somehow be a
adults.
parent. Yeah, great. Anyway, so we stopped at the bar for a cheeky G&T after our slog from the UK. And it was at that point that we realised there must have been an event of some sort on in the hotel, because the entire bar and restaurant was full to the brim with very well-dressed and very attractive men. So my boss and I kind of looked at each other like, like raised brows and furtive glances, indicating that we would have a good old gossip and giggle about this turn of events as soon as we got into the lift. Okay, so we dragged our bags to the elevator, and I prodded the button, and the doors opened to a lift full to the brim of very tall and very handsome men, all wearing very thin and stretched white t-shirts. And it was one of those moments where my boss and I just turned to each other like, how are we gonna handle this? What's our
Stand
approach?
in and hold your breath because the amount of men's perfume.
Well, we couldn't just stand there outside the lift like lemons, could we? Now the doors had opened. And
you'd have to get in but hold your breath because the amount of men's spray.
I know, that didn't bother me.
That would have bothered me.
No, it didn't bother me.
Too many smells.
But they shuffled to the corners of the lifts to try and make room for us and our baggage. And we were quite wedged in between them all, to be honest. Like a man sandwich.
Having the mantra in your head, remember I'm married.
Yes, yeah. Like, behave yourself. You're away with work. Just focus, concentrate. Yeah. And when we managed, we couldn't look at each other when we were in the lift, because we knew that we would just erupt into fits of ridiculous giggles if we did. So we're kind of like, I didn't know where to put my eyes. I was like, where do I...
Was it mirrored?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I couldn't look down because, well, down's, there's other things down below waist height.
Because they were that tall.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm only short.
Well, yeah.
And I had flats on because we were travelling.
Yeah.
So, and my boss was short too.
Oh. Yeah, you could.
So, yeah, looking up meant making eye contact or staring at the chests of the very sculpted men.
In the very white t-shirts.
Thin. White t-shirts. Yeah. So anyway, we finally arrived at our floor and extracted ourselves from the massive blokes. And as soon as the door closed, we looked at each other and that was it. We could hardly breathe for laughing. Tears were literally streaming from our eyes. Now, we managed to compose ourselves and we agreed to have a quick change of clothes in our room. And then we'd meet up again and head out for some nosh, some food. And about 5 minutes later, I'm done, so I go and knock on her door and I can hear her scrabbling around inside. Right, you know in Ice Age, that stupid little squirrel type thing that's always scrabbling around after the nut?
He's got a name, but I can't think of it right now.
No, I can't either. But it was like that. I could hear her scrabbling around. I'm like, what is she doing? Right, and I'm there, I'm like, hello? No response, still more scrabbling. And then after about 5 minutes, you know, I'm like, are you okay? And then she goes, I can't get out. Okay. And I'm like, how? It's a door. How are you being defeated by a door? Okay. And she says she's tried everything. She's been faffing with the lock. She's, you know, pulled with all her might. The door just won't budge. Just won't happen. And I'm just about to leg it to reception to try and explain that my boss is trapped in her room, when my boss exploded out of the door and landed in a heap. Now, it turns out the doors in Sweden open outwards and not inwards. Who knew?
How long was she doing this for?
Literally about 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and the panic, you could hear in her voice the panic rising and rising that she was... That was
You've
her hope
just
now.
come out of your room.
I didn't twig in my brain. No. Didn't even twig for me. But you know, apparently, I'm not defeated by doors. You know, I navigated that one successfully. For myself, I just forgotten how to help her with it. It was fine.
Just gates and clothes.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And shoes.
And shoes. And zips. And escalators. And drag lifts.
Oh, yeah. Anything that moves, I should try to get on.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I need coffee.
I'll never, drive until you jump in then.
Why would you do that anyway?
Getaway car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We just murdered your
After
partner
we
or mine.
buried one of our partners under the patio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might need to get away quick.
Yeah, go take that flight to Ibiza.
Yes. Your daughter was asking me what my best holiday was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually Ibiza.
Was it?
I went there a few times, and this is back when
Way
it
back
was
when.
actually
Good.
Nice and not touristy. So it was all
Not full of idiot teenagers.
Yes,
and glow sticks.
exactly. It's not. It wasn't a party place.
Oh.
It was always like family places. And things.
Oh, I didn't know that there was such a thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was always just like that.
No.
Oh.
No. But yeah, I always remember going to the dormant volcano, and it was a black beach with little green
pretty
stones, like little gem things.
See, that's why I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, because it's all volcanic beaches, isn't it?
Yeah, see, I love them. And I remember seeing the glow-in-the-dark crabs in a cave.
Oh. Crabs are weird, they freak me out.
Yeah, no, but they didn't
got
touch
too many-
you, so that was fine.
They've got too many legs. They've got 8, haven't they, like spooders? No? Yes?
I don't know.
Maybe?
I don't know off the top of my head.
They
It just made me blank.
They just like they look like sea spooders with claws. I don't like it.
They just go sideways instead.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, you might be right.
It's things that I'm so sad we don't have hands on this, because you can see Evie's hand movements right now. It's so funny. Ooh, jazz hands. Oh dear.
Oh,
me.
dear.
Yeah, we've got some drama llama around here at the moment. There's a local dude that's that's been arrested. Okay.
Oh, they found him.
Yeah, they found him.
Oh, right.
So it was earlier on this week. My daughter was out playing, and my neighbour phoned me, and she's like, "Come round, you're missing all the drama." I'm like, "What?" I was busy editing or something. I went round, and there's coppers everywhere. So I phoned my daughter and I'm like, where are you? She's like, oh, I'm at the park. And I said, just watch what you're doing because there's a lot of coppers around. Not that she was doing, like, she would get arrested for anything, but I was just like, you know, be aware.
Don't get in the way.
Yeah, be aware of your surroundings. There's lots of police mooching about. And then she started telling me about all the drama llama. Somehow she knew.
Oh, wow.
About this.
Well, she knows everything.
She does. She's so bloody nosy, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's like me.
She's worse than you.
She is. Yeah.
She knows everything.
And apparently, it's all been going around the school as well. There's been all this
really?
rumours and talks and stuff, and that her teachers had to ban them from talking about it.
Oh, wow. My kids are oblivious, so...
Oh, no, they know everything in that school. It's mental. But yeah, there's this local bloke he's a bit of a troubled soul.
So let me, yeah.
But also should get in the bin.
Famous words.
Yes. He's the one that tried to break into my knobhead neighbour's house twice. Oh,
well,
there's a Phoenix
can't really
outside.
blame her.
Him.
I would... Him.
No.
No. Yeah,
it was her fault.
Him.
She'd provoked
That's what I was
it.
about.
Yeah. Her, him, who? What, where,
You
why?
distracted me with Felix.
Sorry, he's right. He's looking at me. It's like, let me in.
I would let him in, but I'd have to
You'd have
calibrate
to
again.
move. Yeah. Should I? No. Because he won't come in anyway. He'll
Will he?
run away and then roll around like, can't catch me. I had to go out there to get him yesterday, and he literally did this weird galloping run up to me, like chirping away, like, Prow. And then as soon as he got within a foot and I like went down to grab him, he legged it.
And he's fast.
He is.
He's proper
It's a little
slinky.
whippet. Yeah. I'm going to try and let him in. Bear with. You'll be able to hear this. I'm not going to pause it. You can just listen to my shenanigans.
Hello, kitty.
He's going to be all loving. No, Monty.
You coming in or what? Dude, don't sniff the door.
You're going to get a gather. Ragdoll incoming. I can't.
It's fine. I've got a foot in the way.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to have to come back and get you, aren't I? You feral. You.
Okay, you can't hear it anymore, but she's managed to grab him. Nice.
I'm trying to open the wrong door to get back in.
And you're just saying that you're not defeated by doors.
Well, I was, because it wasn't. Well, small doors and patio doors, apparently. Hotel doors, I'm fine. Right, excuse me, my character has a bit of a fit when I sit back down. And do I recalibrate? I think I'm going to have to, won't I? Sorry. I've just got to recalibrate myself so I'm looking in the right place again. Yes. Okay.
It's nice.
It's nice. Oh, dear me. Right. Where were we before we got distracted by the bloody cat?
Hello!
Oh, no, look, we're 27 minutes. Christ.
Oh, no.
Okay, we'll get on with it. Sorry. So in this final segment...
You're so sorry to them.
Because they have to listen to our shenanigans.
Yeah, but it's entertaining.
Is it? Is it entertaining when I'm like, I'll be back in a minute, I just need to let the cat in?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
couldn't open the door, so maybe. Yeah. So in this final segment, I'm not going away on business for once, but I'm being roped into a pre-sales meeting with an American company with one of my colleagues who was a salesman. Now, the colleague who was nagging me, he was a good friend, and he and I would always have a bit of a giggle on a Friday afternoon because the pair of us would get the zoomies.
Yeah.
And we get up to all sorts of nonsense.
On Friday afternoons, it's a thing.
Yeah.
In the workplace.
Like, you know, I'd stick tape over his mouse laser thing, so he'd be like, my mouse is broken. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I used to stick tape around a pen lid so they couldn't get the pen off.
Yeah. Now, the best one we did, is we took a screenshot of my manager's desktop background on a computer. Now, she was one of those where she opened her desktop and it was full of every single document that she'd ever opened in her life. Everything lived on the desktop. It wasn't filed nicely, it was just all on the desktop.
Organised chaos.
Yes. So we took a screenshot and then we hid all of the stuff on her desktop in a little folder. And then we put the screenshot as her background. So it looked like she had all of her files on there, but it was actually just a picture. So it was only like a few minutes before huffing and expletives started coming from her desk because she couldn't get into any of her documents.
No.
Me and my colleague sat there like, no.
That's really, really clever.
No.
Who came up with that?
I think it was a joint effort.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh no, I've always been a nightmare on a Friday, and it's Friday today. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm a bit extra scatty. Anyway, I digress. Tangent. The point is that whenever this colleague and I got together, we were always causing trouble. So we start this conference call, And we're waiting for the potential client to log in. And they were about 10 minutes late, by which point we'd already gotten the giggles about some random topic of conversation that had come up. So the client logs in and she greets us, okay? And she goes, I kid you not, she goes, "Hello!" In this really thick American accent. And the pair of us, we just looked at each other and lost it. Thankfully, he had, enough common sense about him to quickly smash the mute button before we erupted. And we couldn't breathe. You know when you get the giggles so much that you just can't calm down?
Yeah.
And the more you look at the other person, the more you just
Yeah.
you just lose it. Well, that's what was happening. And then there's this poor woman on the other end of the line asking if there's another bad connection. And then when we couldn't respond because we couldn't breathe, she'd go, "Hello!" again.
Make you start all over
and then
again.
we'd start all over again, right? Now, in the end, it must have been about 10 minutes of this where I could barely get a word out and neither could he. I think that he managed to put himself together. Now, I couldn't. I couldn't do the same. And in the end, he looked at me and he said, "You need to go because I need to have this meeting and you keep making me laugh." So he kicked me out so he could actually try and make a sale.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like chuckling away back to my desk and my boss was like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Don't ask." You don't want to know.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I can't be trusted. So yeah, that's it for part 2 of the ADHD Chronicles. So yeah.
I think this is my favourite kind.
Yeah, there's so much more as well. So much more.
I know.
So yes, join us next time. I haven't written any more of the ADHD Chronicles yet, but we're nearly there now with catching up on everything that I've pre-written.
Yes.
I think we've got 2 more to do.
Really?
Yeah, because one of them we don't need to. Because it's
Oh, yes.
about me sending the mental health reform
we've already done
guidance
that.
to all the journalists, and they don't need to know that because I've already said it.
We've already spoke about it
Yeah.
anyway.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
stay sane.
Yeah, stay sane. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.